This is your boy at Big Game James 36, and we're bringing you the Humidor.com ABC Fine Wine and Spirits cigar and Scotch pairing or liquor pairing, whichever one we got, whichever it is. Bottom line is, no weekend is complete, or actually no day of the week is complete without a good stick and a good something good, strong for you to be able to wash down and not get your flavor profile overwhelmed. But we're right now is we're pairing this cigar. We'll talk about this in a minute, with one of my favorite people that I got a chance to meet. His venture into the liquor business, Jonathan Drew, and we got the Brixton. It's a series. It's a couple different ones, right?
Right. Well, everybody knows Jonathan Drew. So basically what we did, kind of start from the beginning, is today's pairing is going to be I don't want to say unorthodox, but a little bit out there. It's kind of two worlds. We're doing a whiskey from a cigar guy who makes a whiskey who is very unconventional.
Very unconventional.
Kind of revolutionizes the cigar industry. Matter of fact, with his Acid line of cigars, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, 20 years, that's how long Acid's been around. And basically, I think when the history of cigars are written, there'll be a little note in there about Jonathan Drew and how he kind of injected some life into the industry. Because basically what the Acid line did, it brought in a whole bunch of people who weren't premium cigar smokers. Mm-hmm. It brought them into the industry and got them excited about premium cigars, which is great. The more people, the more products, and the healthier the industry is. So
before you get into that, let me tell you why Jonathan Drew is one of my favorite people. His whole line, the whole Drew estate line, is pretty much a big fuck you to the industry. And I got a chance to go down there with ABC. We went down there to go do a tour of the facilities and everything, and I learned why they have these rats that are and pigs that are kind of attractive for whatever reason. It's kind of weird, but this graffiti culture and all this stuff. They said his business wouldn't succeed. It's like a true American story, kind of in Nicaragua though. But he built it up.
He wouldn't be a successful. He'd be a successful cigar maker when pigs fly. So flying pig has become one of their most popular.
It just reminds me of what people told me and Denny about our little radio show, that our show sucked. It was too unconventional, and it wouldn't do numbers. But as you guys have seen, going from 1 day a week with shit time to now 5 days a week doing stuff in social media, we appreciate you guys, and that's why when people say, James, what kind of cigar you like, or what do you do? The first thing I'm saying, you gotta go get you a Drew, gotta get yourself from Drew Estate. But let's talk about this.
Well, it wouldn't have anything to do with the guy on the label that has a dude in dreadlocks sitting on a crotch rocket, right? That kind of helps.
I mean, that helps too. That helps too. But just the whole subculture, right.
Yeah, he basically created a whole subculture. But other than launching this whole new brand and this whole new bringing all these new smokers in and kind of revolutionize things, the rebirth of cigars they call it, he's also helped the entire cigar industry. And now Jonathan is celebrated among all the traditional guys. I mean, he's really made a name for himself, and now he's trying to make a name for himself in the spirit world. But the two things we're pairing today is one of his first spirits that he launched, and the second thing, the cigar we're going to go with, is a traditional cigar company, really good friends of ours, J.C. Newman Cigar Company in Tampa, Florida, and Bobby and Eric Newman, third generation cigar makers. The grandfather started the business in 1895, so they've been making cigars for a little while. And the cigar we're going to do today is the Brick House Double Connecticut. And but let's talk about the whiskey, or the spirit first. I'll say spirit because it's very interesting. So if you know Jonathan drinks a lot of different things. He loves bourbon, he loves rye, he loves real peaty Scotch. But what he did, his first thing that he brought in is, and I guess in line with his acid subculture, is he took took bourbon, and he has mixed it with a little bit of rum. So this is actually bourbon and rum together in a bottle. And I say this is kind of the Swiss Army knife of spirits to have in your cabinet. You can drink it neat, you can drink it on ice, you can drink it in a cocktail, you can make old fashioned out of it, whatever. So it's really good to have for people who like whiskey, people who like something that's a little different, or someone you can make a cocktail, someone who likes cocktails. So I think it's great. The taste profile of this, when you take a sip of it, the first thing you're gonna get that little vanilla note that you expect on bourbon on the front end, vanilla, all the stuff that comes from that great charred oak aging. And then, but on the finish, especially when it's warm, it's kind of like a nice little blanket of sweetness. It kind of sits on top of your palate, right on top of your tongue. So that's the rum kind of finishing out. So I think it's a very good spirit. Like I said, it can be enjoyed by connoisseurs of fine whiskey, and then also people who kind of jumping into the waters of the whiskey world and don't want something that's going to be too hot, or they have to put ice in it or add water to it. Okay, so that's the Spirit. It's great. And the reason why I picked the Brickhouse Double Connecticut, well, that cigar is called Double Connecticut for a reason. The wrapper is actually Connecticut shade, true Connecticut shade from the U.S., not Ecuadorian Connecticut. So it's a Connecticut shade wrapper, and the binder leaf is Connecticut broadleaf. Connecticut broadleaf is, everybody knows that's the wrapper that's traditionally used to make dark Maduro cigars, real thick, hearty leaf. So to me, when I smoke that cigar, it's a medium strength cigar, so it's not overpowering. So someone who's new to smoking cigars, it's not gonna give them a headache. Okay. So the strength level is good, but I think that it's kind of like Connecticut with that Maduro, that Connecticut broadleaf gives it a little more body, and I think a little bit of tiny little bit of sweetness, kind of like this Spirit. So I think that's why the two go together really well.
Okay, so what are we looking at with this Brixton Mash?
Well, the Brixton Mash is under, I think it's $39.90. Here I go again, not knowing the price of the spirits, but
under $40.
Under $40. And some of you guys are going to be watching this are going to be in a state like Alabama. It's probably $9,000 in state on liquor stores. We apologize for that. If you're in every state has a different tax structure, but under $40 here. These cigars range from $5 to $8. So it's this is a very reasonable. Correct. I think, well, actually, the most expensive cigar in this line that we carry is the big 6x60 in this size here, and I think it's $679.
Okay,
actually, so.
And it's local to the state of Florida, so my Florida.
Now, yeah, the company's local to the state of Florida. They do have a factory in Tampa, which we were just at a couple of days ago. But this cigar is actually made in their Nicaraguan factory. They have a factory in Nicaragua, literally right down the street from these guys.
Okay.
So this is made in their factory. And the Brickhouse name is real simple. The grandfather who started the company, Julius Caesar Newman. There's a cool story about how he got that middle name.
So they make the Julius Caesar cigar, or is that somebody else?
Yeah, well, the Julius Caesar cigar is Drew Estate. It's actually made by Carlito Fuente in the Fuente factory for them. Okay. And that was an homage cigar they made it for their grandfather for an anniversary celebration. But that's a part of the Diamond Crown line. They make the Diamond Crown Maximus. They make the standard Diamond Crown. They make the Diamond Crown Julius Caesar. But when Julius came to the country, he came from Hungary when he was like 13 years old, and the house they lived in was a little red brick house. So that's where the brick house name came from. So, but a really cool story about how he got his name. Julius Caesar. It's spelled incorrectly because the person that was checking him in when he came into immigration, they said you can't come into this country if you don't have a middle name. So the guy was kind of being a smartass and called him, well, your name's Julius, so you got to be Julius Caesar. And then the genius misspelled it. So his whole life he's going around with you. Yeah. So
that's funny.
So anyway, but that's it, man. I really love this cigar. Brickhouse cigars are really great cigars. They're always in that $5 to $7 range. They're not really expensive. And to find a cigar with true Connecticut wrapper on it in this price point is kind of hard to find because it's a very expensive tobacco, which is produced here in the U.S. So good stuff right here, man.
What you gotta do, make sure you go, if you're in Florida, go hit up any ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Go check you out at Brixton Mash, under $40. Heck, for a good weekend, buy two of these Brickhouse cigars, $50. Cover you for your weekend. Have a good spirit. Have a good cigar. Again, we're trying to expand your palate with different things. If you can't make that and you're outside of the state of Florida, make sure you go to, or if you're in the state of Florida and you still need to go to thehumidor.com. Make sure you go check out the bundles. Go type in Brickhouse, see what you can get, and make sure when you're exiting out, you type in Sports Den. SPORTSDEN for the people who can't spell it or too inebriated. Make sure you type that in. You get 20% off, and you can get free shipping when you get orders of a certain number. So again, thehumidor.com, type in Sports Den, get your 20% off, or when you go to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, make sure you ask for the Brixton Mash, and you go ask for a Brickhouse cigar. You guys have a great weekend.